Hello and welcome to Super OK, where we try to do a decent enough job to entertain people with our opinions on video games. My name is Xando, and I will be your host this week. And joining me today is the always lovely, always friendly and smiley and happy, right? Mel.
Yeah, that's me.
Totally smiling and happy all the times.
Yes, totally. I'm
Maybe
glad
it's just your voice. It always just sounds so happy.
I'm glad that comes through.
Excellent.
Also, glad to be back, to be honest.
It's been a minute. Dale and I have just been recording all the time, and it's just been dudes. And so it's nice to change it up.
They should call it Super OK Dudes.
Super Dude K.
Super Dude K. Love it.
Well, we are a video game podcast, but we do start every week, starting with our highlight of the week. Mel, it's been so long since we've heard one from you. Why don't you go ahead and start?
Okay, sounds good. So my highlight of the week is I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14 again. For whatever reason, I started getting back into it because one of my close friends is playing it, and I was like, man, I'm kind of getting into this video game rut of I'm not really sure what to play. I'm playing Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, but I'm not playing a game with friends. I'm just playing a whole bunch of single player games, and it's not fun to be in Discord with your friends and not play games with your friends, right? So starting that back up, I just finished ARR, and now I'm into Heaven's Word, and it has been a lot of fun. I don't know why I stopped in the first place. I might have stopped because there was probably a whole bunch of games to play in the past 2 years. But now that I'm in this slow period, it's nice to be able to go to a game and be all right, let's get some content done. Let's go in, jump into a quest. Let's find some cute minions. And it's been great. I've been really enjoying it.
So I know you played when all of Super OK was just obsessed with the game. You played as well. Is this the first time you finished ARR?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I know.
So that's probably why you stopped playing before, because what a grind that is.
Right? That, and I kind of got caught up in doing all of the culinarian, the fishing stuff. And I really didn't focus on the story or enough to get me past the story. And once I've gotten past all of the craziness of the first I guess the first part of ARR, and then the patch quests, the patch quests get so much better.
Yes.
And I was really enjoying that when I was going through it the past week. So
yeah,
I'm
that's that whole A Realm Reborn ends so good, and the patch quests are they're riveting. They make you want to keep going. But man, the grind to get there.
Oh, for sure. There's a lot of dialogue and talking to people and go here, talk to this person that wants you to go to another place and talk to that person. And I'm just I don't care.
Heaven's Word is real good. The story gets really cool. There's I remember towards the end, and it might even been in the patch quest. I don't remember. I think it was. There was a moment where I was just cheering at my computer with stuff that was happening. And so, as someone who just growing up, I guess, never cared for MMOs and was always I'm not going to get into this. It's too much money or whatever.
Right.
When I finally just bit the bullet and went through Final Fantasy 14 after everybody was yeah, it's an MMO, but it's a pretty single player MMO. I was okay, I've heard that before, but it really is it's very, very friendly to those who don't always want to have a whole group of people to run with. My point, or my case in specific, I wanted to play, and it was around the time that Super OK were starting to get into it, and that's what kind of got me going. And I chose a server because I couldn't get in the same server that everybody else was on. I chose a server that had boosted experience. All right, well, I'll just do this and I'll be able to jump over and join them after a period of time whenever it opens up. And so I had to play by myself because nobody else was in my my thing. So I jumped in the Discord and everybody be playing, and I'd just be doing a thing, and they're like, "Oh, Xando, you should come over and play with us." I can't. I'm in the wrong server. I'm in the wrong realm. There's so many different things.
Right.
And then when I was finally able to get over, they shut down server hopping. because it was like right around the time that Endwalker came out.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't able to get my character over. And then a little while later, they started opening it back up and I was able to get through. And then I stopped playing. So it's just
oh man.
Yeah, it was around that time that my full-time church job was like, hey, we're not going to pay you anymore. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And they were like, just kidding, we'll pay you for part-time. I was like, well, that's not enough to pay for Final Fantasy and a family.
Right.
So one of those had to go. And after much convincing, my wife talked me into letting go of Final Fantasy. But man, it was close for a minute.
Would you ever get back into it?
I'm at this point now that I've got a full-time job and I'm getting paid well again. That's great. I would love to. I just don't have the time.
Right.
So
I get that.
And it's a bummer because I got through all the expansions and I got up to Endwalker, and that's when I stopped. I had just barely started the quest in Endwalker, so I paid for that expansion and I've never actually played it. But
oh no,
yeah, one of these. I know Dawn Trail comes out soon. Yep. I think it's at the end of this year. If not sooner, and I'm sure some folks will jump back in and I might be able to get talked back into it. But man, it's just my work schedule is so crazy sometimes that I don't have the time to put into it. And then I think I'd really be feeling that $15 a month or $25 every 2 months kind of thing. But anyway, anything else on your highlight before we move on?
Honestly, that's pretty much been it. I've just been really very involved in Final Fantasy 14.
I guess I've just got so many more questions. What race are you in the game? That's a real awkward question to ask.
Yeah, I'm a cat girl.
Nice.
I have cat ears. Actually, it's kind of funny because some of the clothing that you can wear as a cat person will have a space for your tail, so you can see your tail out of it. But there's one outfit that I was trying on, and they have a cat condom, a cat tail condom, where it covers your tail, and I'm like, why? why is this a thing? They even do that for some of your ears too. Stupid. So stupid.
Yeah. What has been your primary class? Or job,
my highest job is my fisher.
Of course, yes.
I have been doing a lot of fishing and doing the charter boats. And that's been a lot of fun. But for my actual combat job, I've been playing as a summoner, and I don't necessarily like it. I think that the summoner job itself is very boring. The way that you go through your different rotations to kill an enemy is just very bland. There's not a lot of thinking involved. So I'm really hoping to get that to 90 and then moving on to another job where it's a little bit more in depth, a little bit more complex.
Yeah, the mage jobs I had a real hard time getting into, and I because I was on that boosted server, I got all my jobs up at least to level 50.
Yeah,
every job that was available I got to 50, except for blue mage, because you had to go into. I really liked it. I liked it a lot. It's one of those this is a job, but it doesn't actually count. So it's a hard one to play.
Right.
But I did really enjoy that.
What was your main job?
I went. Was it Paladin?
Oh, okay. So you were a tank.
That's a job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my thing. I chose the Rothgar, the lion people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And named him Duke Lion because that's my favorite D&D character of all time was Duke Lion. So to have an actual lion character and have him named Duke Lion, and in D&D he was a paladin, I had to do that. But I went through all the jobs. So, but yeah, the mage ones were just the rotations I could never quite get down or fully understand, how black mage worked, where it had to be you had to balance fire and ice and all this. That's
yeah.
And I'd watch videos I guess that kind of makes sense, but I could also just smash things with a sword. So
right,
let's do that.
It's way more fun that way.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I also have a highlight of the week. It's not as exciting, and there probably won't be as many follow-up questions. And it's pretty lame compared to some of my ones in the past. But back in 2016 or so, I got a water bottle, and it was blue, and I over the years put a whole bunch of stickers on it, and I've had it for a very long time. And recently, about 2 months ago, I lost it. And I've been looking for it. And I'm pretty sure I know where it is, but I haven't been back to the place, and the people that I've reached out to haven't been able to confirm or deny whether it's there or not. So I went ahead and finally bought a new water bottle, and because I was using one that was just like plastic and it would sweat and it wouldn't stay warm. Right. And I have this new one now, and I got all new stickers on it, and it keeps things cold, and it's got like a good like water spout area. It's like, so my old one was like a straw, and while I was in the interim, had a very wide mouth, and so I now have this one that's like a combo of both. It's like a medium thing, but also has a straw built in if I decide I want to drink that way.
Right.
And I really like it, and I'm very happy about this water bottle. And I know it's super lame, but I'm also an old man, so sorry.
Not lame. It's not lame because I love a good water bottle. I actually Josh recently bought me one of those Stanley cups that has like the straw things in them. And at first I was like, okay, this is dumb. Like, this is what basic bitch girls would like, get. Like you would see them on like TikTok or like Instagram reels, and everybody's like just raving about Stanley cups.
They got made fun of on SNL. Yep, I got you.
But I recently got one, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. Like, I kind of like it, and I kind of want to get a dumbass strap to like put my put around like my body, so I could like wear it as a purse.
There you go.
So I could just have a water bottle with me everywhere. So like, it's not lame. I think it's cool. I'm glad that you got one. Is it metal?
Maybe.
Or is it like a plastic metal?
It's like a metal. It's like insulated. It's white, which I regretted on day one because I immediately was like, of course I've got it at work, and I'm moving a lot of stuff around that sometimes gets dusty and dirty. So it's like got fingerprints and stuff all over it now, but
don't worry, you got stickers.
I didn't. Yeah, that's why I've got the stickers, right? I didn't want to get the black one because I in being an AV, I'm in the dark a lot. Like when the lights are down, and I figured I'm definitely going to lose it if it's black, and it's just going to be like mixed in the background of all the stuff that I'm working in. So, but yeah, that's my old man excitement is having this. And then I also have just been like collecting random stickers over the year, and I didn't know what to do with them because my old water bottle was covered, and so now to finally be able to
use it.
Yeah, I've got like this rainbow pixel heart. I've got a little Hollow Knight thing. Nice. A while back, I got a bunch of stickers that from Penny Arcade that says Jesus says don't be a dick, and so that's cool to have on there as I go to church.
Nice. Yep.
Just stuff I've forgotten that I'd had, so it's cool to have that stuff out.
Yeah. Well, rip your old water bottle, but hooray for a new one.
Yep.
I hope you find it. I hope one day that you like go to that place that's just still there. Yeah. Just still in the place that you left it.
Yeah. So if anybody happens to go to the Detroit Foundation Hotel, I was there for like an event in March, and we packed up all our stuff, and I left it upstairs, and I told my coworkers like, hey man, make sure you grab my water bottle when you go up. He goes, oh yeah, totally. And then I like packed the rest of the truck, and it's the end of the day. I'm ready to go home, and I wasn't thinking about it. So I'm pretty sure it's in the Detroit Foundation Hotel somewhere, but it's now been like 2 months. I'm sure someone's like, ooh, no one's grabbed this fucking thing. I'm just going to toss it. Or they're like, these are some sweet video game stickers. I'm going to take it.
Right. Yeah.
One of the two. I hope it's in good use.
Me too.
Say that.
Me too.
Well, speaking of things that we've had for a long time and then got updated, this episode comes with a little bit of homework. If you've not listened to our cozy casual game episode that we put out a few months where Mel and I just talked about casual or cozy games. Wow, that was a weird tongue twister I wasn't expecting. We got Stardew Valley 1.6 back in March, and we've both been playing it quite a bit. I know I bought it specifically on Steam because I have my Steam Deck now, and I've got close to 100 hours logged into the game already, which is nice. Pretty crazy considering I've just went on about how I don't have time to play video games, but apparently I do when I just decide to not sleep and be tired at work all day. So now I'm like 3 years into my game and in Stardew Valley time. And how far into your game are you, Mel?
I'm the same. I think that I'm in summer year 3 now. Cool. So we're relatively close. Yeah, I'm probably.
I'm in late fall of year 3.
Okay.
So we've gone through what is considered the main part of the game. We've both completed, going through 2 years, getting our grade from our dead grandpa and stuff like that.
Yep.
But 1.6 added a whole bunch of stuff, like a lot of quality of life stuff, some new items, some new quests, some new areas. So we're just gonna gush about it. We've been if you've been listening the last few weeks, you've heard me talking about how much time I've been putting into it, and now I just get a whole episode to talk about it.
Yeah, so. I'm excited. Also, spoilers for people who haven't done the 1.6 update and haven't really gone into the game. We're going to be talking a lot about it. So if you are planning on playing it and want to be surprised, this might be a good time to peace out.
Yep.
But
thank you for listening for now. But if you don't care and you just want to hear about a farm game and maybe you just hear about some things that might make you want to play a new game, by all means, stay tuned and listen up. So Mel, what have you liked about 1.6 so far? What have been some of your highlights?
So they added a new farm type to 1.6, which is the Meadowlands farm. And I actually decided that when I started my new game for 1.6, I was going to do that new farm. And this farm actually comes with blue grass. And in typical, Stardew farms, like the grass that you grow are always green, but like this one is blue, which is kind of interesting. And they also allow you to start with a coop and 2 chickens. So what's really interesting about this farm in general is that there's not a lot of spaces for plants, but there's a lot of space for other buildings that you want to add to your farm. So I've been kind of like playing around with, well, how do I maximize the plot of land that I currently have? So I have like 3 sheds that I'm trying to fill with a whole bunch of like wine barrels in there. And I'm just going to make like a winery / like, animal husbandry farm.
Nice.
So I'm really excited about that, and trying to make that as good as possible. My farm's kind of a mess right now because I'm still trying to collect all the resources to build those wine barrels. So that's been really interesting. The other thing that I think is like really fun about 1.6 too is that I don't know if you've gotten all of like the masteries.
Yeah, that was going to be mine.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because I think that's like super cool. Like once you like, finished all of your skills and get it to level 10, you've picked all your upgrades. There's a new mastery system that they've like put into the game, like within the forest area that you can go into. And as you rank up, I guess, get like more experience by doing some of the mining or farming or foraging, like you start getting like XP points into this mastery, and then you can select your different mastery skills. So at the first one that I picked was, I think, the foraging one, where like, or not the foraging one, the one where it gives your animals like 2 times the amount of produce.
Oh yeah,
products.
Unlocks like animal crackers.
Yeah, animal crackers. Yeah. Because I was doing the animal husbandry thing, and I thought that was like really interesting. So that was the one I picked first. So what did you pick in your mastery?
So I have since unlocked all of them.
Right.
I don't remember which is the last or which was the first one I did. It may have been fishing.
Oh, okay.
Because at the time I was doing a lot, and so that unlocks a thing where you can use challenge bait, which is a special item that you can put on your fishing rods. Where if you get a perfect catch, then you get 3 times the amount of fish. If the fish gets it, so if you're not familiar with Stardew Valley's fishing system, you have like a bar that pops up, and then there's a little fish icon that bounces around wherever it needs to go. Difficulty raising on harder to catch fish. And then you have this little green bar that you can, like, as you get your level higher, it gets bigger and bigger. You can get items to augment that and whatnot. And the idea is that so long as you can keep the fish in your little green bar the entire time, that's considered a perfect catch. If it bounces out, then it's your progress of catching goes down a little bit. And so what the challenge bait does is it makes it so if you have a perfect catch, you get 3 fish. If it pops out, then you get 2. If it pops out a second time, then you only get 1. And if it pops out a third time, you just lose the fish completely and you get nothing. Nice. So that was kind of cool, because I was getting a lot of quests of like, you need to go here and fish, go through and catch this amount of fish or catch this amount of ocean fish or this specific. So I was like, okay, I'll totally use this challenge bait. So I think at that time is what I chose. But I think my favorite one was the mining one, where you can get you get the recipe for a statue that lets you get more things or like a different buff every day kind of thing. So that one I think is really cool. And I think there was, I don't remember which one it was, what it was for, but there's another one that's like a statue of blessing. And that's the same. You just get different buffs so that you just walk to those statues every day and get that. So I think that's a really cool quality of life thing.
Great.
One of the challenges in the game is you unlock a second set of mines that's just, I believe, is endless. And you have to get to 100 floors down. And so having like your daily luck changes, you can eat food that changes your luck. And now you have these statues that will do it as well. And those have just been a cool little bonus quality of life kind of thing.
Totally. I love when I have like a really good luck day and then I get like the blessing from the Statue of Blessings, and I get like the greater chances to find like ores or something like that, or the bombs can't damage you. That's the one, because I use the bombs to like go through the mines. Like,
yeah, that's the way to do it.
I just blast through the whole entire like desert cave. It's just so wonderful.
Have you made it? How far have you made it in the desert cave so far?
So my dumbass only made it to like 110 because
I'm struggling to get to 45. So
I made it to 110, but like I've done like I should have bought like or made a whole bunch of like triple shot espressos just so I could like go in and like, you know, drop bombs like as quickly as possible and move out of the way. And then go into the, you know, there's holes within the caves that you can drop down into and it'll like take you down up to 10 levels, I think.
Yeah, I think
something
it's like between that. I think it's between 3 and like 10 or 11 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. And yeah, if I had more of those espressos, I probably could have made it a lot further, but that's a pro tip for sure.
Yeah.
But that's just so much fun to do. Speaking of the mine, I kind of want to talk about the desert festival that they created, and all the festivals that they've added into the game.
Yeah.
Again, there's 3 new festivals within Stardew Valley 1.6. There's one. Is it 3 festivals?
I think so.
Or
if you start to name them, I'll start. I will definitely remember. I don't remember. I didn't read through so first off, this game has been out for a very long time. So the 1.6, it's basically like Stardew Valley 6, kind of like it's just there's so many things that get added, and the patch notes for this are ridiculous. So I kind of skimmed through them, and there's a ton of stuff that I probably didn't realize got added. So I don't have like a memory of reading how many festivals got added, but it was so there's the desert festival, like you said.
Yep. The trout festival, right? Where you go to
the trout. Yeah, there's a trout festival, and then there's an octopus festival. So those are kind of 2 or 1, depending on how you want to look at it.
But that desert festival is probably my favorite festival that they have brought into the game, because there's so many cool things that you can do. I love that all the NPC, the villagers, become like a vendor where you can go and sell or utilize the currency that you get within that festival to buy whatever that they're selling. And I think it's just really interesting, like how they curated the store for each individual like NPC, because you can tell that it's like very much like the NPC's like favorite items.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really cute. And plus I think that the desert like challenges where they ask you to do like kill 10 mummies within like the caves or make it down a certain amount of levels is really interesting. I really like that one a lot.
Yeah, I've not, I think honestly in year 3, because it's like a summertime thing, isn't it? Or is it spring?
I think it's a spring thing.
I definitely skipped it in year 3.
No.
Yeah, let's kind of shift a little bit. Like, what have you been doing differently? I'll give you a minute to kind of think about, because I'll just kind of go on and share all the things I've been doing. So I've played through Stardew twice. I've had 2 different occasions where I've put over 100 hours into the game. Unfortunately, it's kind of an embarrassing thing to say. But this time I did the Four Corners farm.
Okay.
So there's just 4 large areas you can kind of do whatever you want with. And I've kind of similar to you, I've been focusing more on animals than crops. Although I've got kind of a healthy mix at this point, but I've really leaned into pigs, which have just been a fair amount of money. So pigs will find truffles, which you can use to make truffle oil, which you end up selling for like the 1,500 a piece or something like that. So I've kind of been leaning more into that. I've also focused on like relationships in the game, whereas before it's just been like, oh, you're the person I'm going to marry. Cool. I'm just going to do that and get that up and then whatever. But this time I have maxed out hearts with every character in the game, which is not something I've ever done before. So you get to see different events with the characters, different so you can build up to 10 hearts with all the characters in the game. And so I did that, and basically every 2 hearts or so, there's like an in-game like cutscene that happens where you can take advantage of the situation to like increase your friendship or goof it up and make it worse. So it's been cool to kind of learn the characteristics of all the other characters in town. So when those festivals came up, I was like, oh yeah, I could go and do this, or I could keep working on this quest to do this other thing.
Right.
And that's kind of been my thing with the Ginger Island or the desert. Like I just don't have the time yet because there's other things that I want to get done on the farm before I'm like, okay, I can go and mess around and like not worry about my animals or whatever. Like I'm dying to get further in the skull cavern so that I can hopefully find some auto petters so I don't have to spend all that time petting my animals every day.
Yep.
And so like I'm in this weird limbo right now of like, I really want to do those things. I just don't have the time in the day to do them. Like I didn't even go I think I unlocked Ginger Island as quickly as I could. And I didn't go until after year 2 had ended.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've only found like 20 golden walnuts so far. And golden walnuts, for the uninitiated, are items that you find in this area that they added in 1.5 that allow you to unlock different things, like different ways to get around the island. You can unlock a house on the island if you want to stay there. But it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Days in the game are about 25 minutes. It goes by fast and you don't even realize it. And it's kept me up way late too much because I've been like, tomorrow stuff is going to happen. I need to see what happens. And then all of a sudden it's like 9 p.m. in the game. Like, okay, this is the end of this day. Oh, but man, tomorrow my crops are going to be here. I need to know how much money. It's awful.
The worst, but also the best in a way.
The worst and best for sure.
To go back to the original question, I don't think that I have changed anything about how I play. I have been focusing more on myself, less on relationships. Although, like, I'm now at the point of the game where, like, I want to start building the relationships with people. Mm-hmm. And I would love to get 10 hearts with everybody, like even the bachelors and bachelorettes. Is that possible? All of them. Can you do that? I'm pretty sure you can do that.
So with the bachelors and bachelorettes, you are locked out of getting their 9th and 10th heart unless you start dating them.
Can I date everybody?
You can't date everybody. And then Are
you dating everybody?
No, I did not date everybody. I did not get. So I maxed out what was available for me. So I only dated the one person. But there is an event where if you do date all of them, like there's an event that will happen where they all realize that they're dating you and they like confront you about it. And then it like drops you back down to 5 hearts with everybody. So I was like, oh man, I kind of want to see that. And apparently if you have a rabbit's foot in your inventory when that happens, it turns into like them talking about other characters and your hearts all stay the same. So I was like torn on, do I do this or what? And then I was just like, no, I kind of got to a point where my house is fully upgraded. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing they added is some more upgrades to the house, like an attic and stuff like that. So once I had that and I just had all this space, I was like, oh, I need to like decorate this. And I was like, oh, it's just kind of lonely in this house. And then there's 10 marriage candidates, if you will. But then there's also Krobus, who is a shadow monster that you can just invite to be a roommate on your farm. And I almost went that route. I almost invited Krobus to come live with me. But then I realized that he doesn't do anything for the farm. Like he doesn't help you out like a spouse does. Yeah, like he'll occasionally like give you gifts and stuff like that, but he doesn't like go out and like he can't leave the house because he's a shadow person and the sun hurts his skin.
Oh my god.
So I was like, I kind of like hey, I took care of the animals today. I was like, oh, that's like great. I can go to the mine. So once I realized that Krobus doesn't really help, I was like, okay, as much as I want Krobus, I'm just gonna choose one of the characters and marry them and go from there.
Oh my god, I need to get married in my games because I didn't realize that like your spouse actually like helps you.
Yeah. It's nothing like groundbreaking, but sometimes it's like, hey, like there was a broken fence and I took care of it, or hey, I watered the crops today, or hey, I did that. Like there's certain things that they will occasionally help out with.
God, it's so nice.
Yeah, I don't think they ever like, hey, I collected all the items and put them in all the machines that you wanted. There's never that.
Right.
Which would be incredible.
That would be so nice. Yep. That takes up more than half of my day sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, so the in-game starts at 6 and usually about 11, I'm like, okay, I'm done with all those things.
Yeah.
And then I have to figure out what I'm doing with the rest of the day and if I've got time to go to the desert or the island or anything else. Sometimes
I'll just like neglect all of like my responsibilities, like animals, like I'll just leave you inside my barn or the coop for today. I'm gonna go to the mines. Mm-hmm. I feel bad. I'm just like, oh, my poor chickens. They haven't seen daylight today.
So are you a type of person who will go and let them out every single day just to avoid having to feed them?
Oh, for sure. Okay. But I think if you upgrade your barns, like there's an auto feeder to like in the max upgrade. So I've gotten that on my farm. And I actually made an attempt to get an auto petter for both my barn and my coop. So I have 2 auto petters now, but that was such a grind. That was such a freaking grind to do. Yeah. I got really lucky with my first auto petter because the first time I like decided that I wanted to go into the mines to find an auto petter, I found it within like the first time I got into the treasure room. I was like, oh my God, I'm so freaking lucky. And then the second time took me freaking forever. Yeah. One thing I am changing about this run is that I am decorating my town. I have never decorated my town before. I haven't either. And I am now in the process of doing it. Like I'm finding cute little furniture that I can like put in the town. So like I'm trying to design outside of the saloon to make it into a like a bar, like an outdoor patio type of place where it has like a mini jukebox and like a table and like seating and stuff like that with plants. And I think that's going to be really cool once it's done. Yeah, I'm like really excited. And I'm also putting like to kind of like help me figure out, because I'm not playing this game with any like mods. I'm putting chests in every single person's home with all their favorite items. So I can like quickly go in there and like give them the item and then like leave. So I don't have to like go back to my house and get any of it.
That's real smart. You can put chests in their house.
Yeah. Yeah.
The smartest thing I did was put a one of those, because you can get up to 2 of those mini shipping containers. I put one in one of my farm animals thing because I'm always running out of space when I'm gathering near items.
Nice.
So I put one there, and then I also put one on the dock by Willie's shop. So when I'm fishing, I'm like, oh, I've got too much fish. I need to put something here. But that's the smartest thing I've done. And I've put a treasure chest, or not a treasure chest, but a chest outside of the skull cavern, so that I can just like leave all my stuff at home, or if I just decide a last minute trip, like I go to the cave, I can just like drop all my farming tools and stuff that I don't need in the cavern.
Smart.
And then like I just leave bombs and stuff in there, a tent, and then like travel charms and stuff like that.
Shoot, I should do that. I need to go and make more tents. Oh, that's another thing. Is tents new in 1.6? I think that they're new in 1.6.
And then you can make campfires, so you can camp on the go. Or not camp on the, but cook on the go.
Yeah, tents are super awesome because it allows you to pretty much like put up a tent anywhere within anywhere within Stardew Valley. As long as
you are outdoors, you can use it.
Right. Yeah.
Which is helpful because at the end of the game day is 2 a.m. And if you are not at home and in your bed at 2 a.m., you lose money and potentially items.
So unfortunate. Yeah, I had to put one in Ginger Island before I was able to get the upgrade for the house. I was like, oh God, it's like 1 a.m. I need to do something. Oh look, I have a tent. It's been really, really nice.
So this route, or this time going through with your 1.6 playthrough, did you do Joja or did you do the community center?
I went with the community center. I feel like I could never go the Joja Mart route.
Probably the next time I decide to start the game over, I probably will. Just because now I'm on Steam and there are like trackable achievements, and that's one of them is to go the Joja route. So that's I'll probably do it.
Yeah, it's just like the hardest part about that
the whole time.
Yeah, I think the hardest part about like going that route is like making enough money. That's trying to like, you're essentially selling everything that you possibly have to get all the unlocks. And I also realized that like on Ginger Island, I don't know if you noticed, but in the upper left corner of the volcano area, there's a new parrot that allows you to buy all of the golden walnuts.
Yeah, I noticed that, and it's like close. I think the first time I talked to it was over $1 million for it. So I was like, I think I'm okay.
I'm like, I'm too poor for this right now.
No. I'm at a point now where I think my in-game cash is around 500,000.
Okay.
And I make about 35 to 45 a day.
Wow.
So I'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Because I'm doing the winery route. I currently have ancient fruit wine and star fruit wine happening in two of my big sheds, and it will output 137 bottles of wine. And if I were to sell both sheds of wine,
if it all happens to reach iridium level at the same time.
Yeah. Well, not even iridium level, just, because star fruit and ancient fruit is like really expensive fruits in general, like your wine's just really, it's worth a lot.
Yeah.
So if I were to sell like both batches of those, like I'm making somewhere around 300,000 or something like that of
Nice.
of gold. So but it's also a grind, right? Like you have to
it's also just a very long time for that to happen.
Right. But it's nice when you get like that chunk of money to come in. But then I spend it like crazy. Like I don't even know what I spend it on. Like I just, upgrade for my house. Cool, I'll buy that. Look, I can buy this like all these bombs and more seeds and more animals. Then I'm poor again.
I also spent a lot of money on books, which books are a new thing in 1.6, which allow you to increase your experience levels, which is helpful. You can read them over and over again. It's not like you read one and then that's the only bonus you get. So the bookseller in town, I would just drop a ridiculous amount of money so I could get the bonus experience to get those mastery levels faster. And then they've added more catalogs to the game. So where it used to just be like one catalog and then you could catalogs in the game. I keep forgetting I need to address people who don't actually play the games. Are just items that you can put in your house and then you just have access to. Like normally you'd have to go into a shop and be like, I want this chair or I want this dresser to decorate my house. The catalogs are like super expensive, but you can have as many of the furniture items as you want for free. Nice. So there are like 6 different catalogs now. And
you get the trash one?
What's that?
You get the trash one?
There's a trash catalog?
The trash catalog, yeah.
No. Where did you get the trash catalog?
Start going through the trash, and eventually you'll find a trash catalog.
For like trash items?
For trash items, yeah. Like you could just like put trash on the floor.
That's incredible. No, I didn't know there was a trash catalog.
Have you met the raccoons yet?
I have. I've given them everything they've asked for so far, but there's an achievement for completely helping them, and I haven't gotten it yet. So
okay, same.
I don't know what that's going to be.
But you should continue through that quest line because I think that's another one where you can get a trash catalog.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so I have the Wizard catalog, I have the Joja catalog, the Retro catalog, and the Junimo catalog, and there's a regular catalog. So, yeah, I didn't know that there was a trash catalog. That's incredible.
I didn't know that there was a Junimo catalog.
Yeah,
can you just buy that?
Yeah. It's the Wandering Traveler, the Wandering Salesperson will
okay.
have it.
Man, I never check her. I never go.
Oh man, every Friday and Sunday I get so excited. Especially doing the community center route. Like that's just it's an easy way to get it done sooner. Did you do the standard community center? Or I saw that this time there was a way that you could jumble it up.
Yeah, I think in 1.5 they had the ability to like remix the goals in the community center. So yeah, I did that. I did the remix for that. And like my brain's so used to doing like the default goals that I'm just like, I'll save these items because I know it's going to be utilized for the community center. And then I get there and I'm like, I don't need the red cabbage anymore.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, I had to wait a little bit long. The thing actually that threw me off was there were a lot more items in the community center that were like, it's telling you that there are 6 things, but you only need 4. Like, that threw me off a couple of times. I could have probably finished it a lot sooner had I realized that. There were a couple items where I was like, I missed out on gold yams or something like that. So I need to wait for another year so I can get these items. And like, oh no, I didn't need them. Had I just been not a dummy and looked at the amount of squares, I could have been done with this a long time ago. So yeah, it was cool to kind of to switch that up and play it differently. That's one thing that the creator of the game tweeted out before 1.6 came out was like, if you've played 1.5 and you're going to go into 1.6, I strongly recommend starting over so you can experience these things as they happen. Otherwise, you're just going to be overwhelmed with all the stuff that pops up. And I think that's definitely the route to go.
I agree. I feel like you would be missing out on so much if you didn't start a new farm, because they have like all of those the mystery boxes.
Yeah.
So now in the game, if you were to do anything, till your land, you mine for rocks, or try to chop down trees, like sometimes you'll get like a mystery box, and when you go to the blacksmith to open it, like it could be anything. I feel like you'd miss out on that because like you wouldn't be doing that on a regular basis, right? Like it's not part of your daily grind if you are already so far advanced in the game, right? Like I feel like if I were to go back to one of my old farms and played now, I'd be like, okay, I'll go to the bookseller and like buy the books. And then what? Oh, like upgrade my home. Cool. And just like spend money at that point, right? I don't really have to like, do the grind, like, grind for materials at that point.
Yeah. I wonder if they would, if your experience would just be there, like if it would have already accumulated, and then like you just are there like, oh cool, I've already made the mastery of all these, or if you would actually have to work for it.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I can probably go find out.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I've had the Stardew Valley Reddit thing has just been like, every time I open it up, I'm like, oh, there's all these things that I'm learning about the game, things I didn't really know that I could do. And luckily that community is like really helpful about like putting like, hey, 1.6 spoilers, read this if you only if you want to. So I've not like seen anything that like I wasn't expecting.
Right.
But occasionally I've just learned stuff like, oh yeah, you've been able to do this forever. Like, oh shit, I totally had no idea I could do X, Y, or Z.
Yeah. One other thing is in 1.6 they added that prize machine. So now that you can like go in, and the prize machine is like inside the mayor's home, and you can get prizes or a prize ticket from completing quests on the the daily quest board that's in Stardew Valley. Or is it Pelican Town? Sorry, it's Pelican Town. And sometimes you can get prize tickets from doing the festivals. And in my older playthroughs, like I've gone to a point where I'm just like, why would I need to go do the egg festival again? Like I've already beat it. I got the stuff, like, or the fishing quest or the festival. Like, why would I need to go back and do it? And now there's a purpose to go do it, because now when you go to the festival and you win the mini game, you can get this prize ticket, and the prizes are so cool. Like I like the fact that you can get I think I got a whole bunch of like fermenting like bottles or something like that. The jam canisters. I forgot what you call them.
The kegs, and then the
kegs.
Kegs.
Make cool things.
Occasionally it's also stuff like house plants, which is kind of a bummer. Sometimes it's just a bunch of mystery boxes.
It's never a bummer.
House plants are kind of a bummer.
Great.
When you bought the catalogs, house plants are kind of a bummer because it's like, oh, I could have just gone to this place in my house and gotten this for free. Thanks a lot.
Okay, well, that's fair. I haven't really bought the catalog yet, but they're never a bummer. You're like, oh, cool, a plant. I'm going to go put it in somebody's house.
I go, oh, cool, a plant. I'm going to put this in this chest that I have that's full of stuff for my house.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I like the Star Drop tea or whatever it is that you can get now that just automatically boosts up a level of friendship.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's really cool. I thought I'd read that you could put that in the for the luau, where you have to like bring an ingredient. I thought I had read that you could use it there, and then I tried to use it to get my friendship level up with everybody, and it did not work.
Rip.
Yep.
That would have been such a good thing to put in the game.
Yeah, the Star Drop tea or whatever they call it, it's like a little purple coffee mug. You can give it to people, and it doesn't count towards giving them a gift for the day, which is helpful later on. And it also boosts you up a full heart level. Like you get 250 friendship points or whatever, which is the equivalent of 1 heart. And if you give it to them on their birthday, it's the equivalent of like 2 or 3 hearts or something like that.
Wow.
Because it's one of those items. It's like a universal love, and it has just a bonus. So I would just like hold on to those for characters towards the end where I'm like, oh, I still have to go talk to George, and I'll just give him this and like boost this up and get done with it faster.
God, so many cool things. Many cool things.
There's a lot of cool stuff in 1.6, so much that we probably won't even be able, I mean, we definitely won't be able to get to everything because there's probably a ton of stuff that we haven't found. Did you notice that you can change your fishing bob now?
Yes, I love it so much. I have it set to random though.
Oh, you can do random?
Yeah, at the very bottom. I think it's the bottom right corner of the menu. Like you have the ability to do like a random.
Is that available from the start, or do you have to unlock that?
I'm pretty sure it's available from the start. Well, once I think that you unlock more than one bobber.
Okay, I'll have to double check because random would be cool. I've just been going with a skull for now.
Nice. My
there's
favorite.
Still a whole bunch that I haven't unlocked, and I haven't looked up how to unlock more.
Yeah, I wish it would like tell you in the game like how to unlock, or like that you've unlocked a new bobber or something like that. Because like I'll start fishing and I'm like, oh, that's a new bobber. Like I wonder how I got that, and like, oh, that's a new bobber. Like what? Like how did I get that one? But yeah, there's some like really interesting ones. My favorite one is the you can now have a Joja can, like the Joja drink that they like have in the game that you can like give to people. Like you can use it as, and it's also a trash item when you go fishing. You can use that as a bobber. So silly.
I don't remember if this was in previous versions of the game or not, but being able to look at the community center bundles wherever you are was a pretty helpful thing. Instead of having to run to the community center all the time, and knowing my luck, it's probably been there forever, and I'm just an idiot.
Yeah, it's been there for a while.
Nice. Yep,
also, pro tip: if you were to hover over any of those items, like any items in your inventory, and it's part of a bundle, the bundle will start like pulsating.
Oh, interesting.
So, take a look next time. Have you finished the Joja Mart? I guess quests for those yet?
Not yet, because it's got some more rare items, and I think I needed 2 more things.
Okay.
I know probably like a prismatic shard. I've only found one of those so far, and I put it in the museum. I was going to put it in there to finish that and get the movie theater, but then I was like, oh, this is one of those where it's like there's 6 items, but I only need to turn in 5 of them.
Yeah.
So I decided to forego that, and now I'm looking for a prismatic shard so I can get a better sword.
Ooh, yep.
Yeah, so that's my quest. That's my other thing of trying to get to the bottom of the cave so I can find that stuff. I also felt like finding iridium this time around was a lot harder.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm having such a hard time farming for iridium. The only way that I could like get a decent amount, and I mean like 30 ores, is like going through the skull mines, the desert mines. And I have to go in pretty deep to find them too. And I'm just like, oh, why? It's so hard.
I feel like it used to be like you could find it as soon as you went into the skull cavern. But this was the first time that I had to wait for that perfection statue or whatever for getting 4 iridium candles lit.
Yeah.
The iridium statue that you get that just gives you X amount a day. I had to get that before I was able to upgrade all my items. And I was like, man, that sucks. I feel like this used to be so much easier.
Yeah. I feel like that's just like a balancing issue that they've like tried to correct. Same with when you're buying those teleportation towers, like once you've beaten once you have finished the community center, you can go into the house of the wizard, and now he has like this new catalog of like buildings that you can buy. And some of the items in there is a teleportation tower, and it would like take you to the beach or the mountains.
1.5, I think.
Yeah, they changed up the recipes to buy those towers now, so it's a lot more difficult to get all of the items to go to those places. So the Ginger Island one is probably the hardest one, I think, to get right now, because like you have to get teeth and stuff like that. You have to get like 10 of them. I think previously it used to be 5, and then like in my head I'm like, okay, cool, 5. Like 5's not terrible. Like I can find that pretty easily. Like just spend like a season in the Ginger Island caves, volcano area. And I've only found like 3 so far in my game, and I'm like, this is gonna take me forever.
I've not really. Every time I get to Ginger Island, the day is halfway gone. So it's not really. I've been waiting for. I think it's because I'm almost in winter, and in winter there's not going to be a whole lot that I can do. Because I've also been like, I've got a Junimo hut out, so I've got like crops going, I've got my greenhouse going, and I've got a fairly sizable chunk of crops right underneath my house.
Nice.
So that's been taking up a lot of the time. So once it's winter and I don't have any crops, then I'll probably be able to start going and exploring the island more.
Yeah.
One thing that I also did differently this time was coffee beans.
Ooh.
Have you fucked around with coffee beans yet?
I have. They're a pain, but I have.
A little bit, yeah. So I went through because they grow in spring and summer. In year 3, I made my whole like part underneath my house was all coffee beans because I had my greenhouse doing like blueberries and stuff like that.
Right.
And all the other seasonal crops, I would just have the Junimos harvest for me. But I would get probably close to like 500 every other day coffee beans. And I would just make tons and tons and tons of coffee. And I just like stored it in a case. So at the end of summer, once I had brewed all the coffee, I think I had close to 1,500 cups of coffee.
What?
Yeah.
You're crazy. Open a Starbucks.
And then I just sold it. I wanted to see how much I would get for it. And I made almost 400,000.
Holy butts.
But that was also me? But that's also over 2 entire seasons in the game.
Still a decent amount of money.
Yeah. So if you are starting the game, coffee is not a bad idea.
Oh, not at all.
You plant one, and then when it harvests, you can, harvest that and you get multiple and they grow every other day. So you're getting usually about 2 to 3 per plant. I've not messed around with tea leaves yet. I think that's going to be something I do when spring rolls around again and just see how I don't think it's very profitable, but it's something new to grow. And I'm trying to, there's like a perfection level of like, have you shipped all the crops and all this? So I'm trying to do all of that stuff. I'm really going for a completionist kind of thing in this one.
I totally forgot that tea leaves were a thing, and I have not grown any so far in this playthrough.
Yeah, I'm also like really bad about like rice shoots and stuff like that, like all those like random seasonal things. I just always forget about. I even built a mill, like a windmill that can like process the rice, and I just have forgotten completely to do anything with it.
Yeah,
those things have always, like the wheat and turning it into flour has just not been a thing. This is the first time I've used beekeeper or like the bee houses next to flowers to get more expensive.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, so that's been a fun addition to my grind.
There's so many like new things I've been doing in my game too. Definitely messing around more with like the mills. I have been making a lot more mead as of late. Just because like I actually started like this one section of my farm that's primarily they're just beehives, so I can make a whole bunch of honey.
Yeah.
And
you're just putting honey in the kegs, right?
Yep, I'm just putting honey in the kegs. Yeah. And the turnaround time for that's pretty quick, like in comparison to like the wine. So it's been kind of like interesting to like just be like, oh, I have a whole bunch of honey. Let's make mead.
Yeah, after spring and summer ended and I'm not making coffee anymore, I grew hops all through summer. So now I'm in the process of converting that into ale or whatever it is.
Make that money.
That'll be my income over the winter months. But yeah, I've got two sheds. One of them is just my like, here's all my stuff. Kind of like I do have the workbenches in there, like all my random items that convert items into different items, all my crystallariums and stuff like that. And I built another shed that's going to be just for like kegs and stuff, but I haven't got that up and running yet.
Nice.
Yeah, there's so much to do in this game, and it's shocking how even on the third playthrough I'm finding new stuff to do. Like this is the first time I've ever done a slime hutch.
Yeah, how's that going for you?
It's going miserably because I've got I don't know how to work it. I randomly found a purple slime egg, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I like built one. It was like, and then the Adventurers Guild guy's like, here's a slime egg. So I've hatched both of those, and it says a male slime has hatched. So I'm assuming I need a female to get slime eggs, which is where you start like making, you can turn slime eggs into 100 slimes, which you need to make something that I can't remember. Slime is needed for the
slime eggs.
The slime eggs will just get turned into 100 slimes, which will then allow you to make the things that converts the truffles into truffle oil, whatever that thing is called, and I need more of those so I can
the oil makers. There you go.
The oil makers. So that's my whole reason of building a slime hutch. And I'm assuming I need a female, which means I need to find another slime egg somewhere, and then I don't know. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you updated. You can always ask me in the Discord.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, because I've never built a slime hutch, and like out of my 1,000 some hours of me playing Stardew Valley.
Yeah. And I just don't post in the Reddit where they're like, is there a point to this? And someone's like, not really. I'm like, well, then I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
But now I'm like, I'm gonna do it.
Why not? You should do it.
Yeah.
I haven't done it before.
You keep feeling like there's other things that I'm like, oh, 1.6 did this, and I can't even think of. There's just so much to do, and we're already almost at an hour. So
I know.
We'll just have to do another cozy casual check-in sometime.
Seriously, we honestly might have to, because we still haven't talked about like the new dialogue that the NPCs have, the new pets that you can get.
Oh yeah, have you gotten multiple pets yet?
I have not. I don't know which one to pick, because I would feel bad if I didn't adopt the other one.
So I know you can get turtles now.
Yeah,
I've not gotten a turtle. I did get a cat because I told my daughter has watched me play a couple times. Aww. And she has even started her own game, which is just her. She has no concept of how to play video games, really. Like it's painful sometimes to watch her try to figure it out. But I'll just like give her the controller and she can walk around. She's trying to find all the people to say hi to. She's like 4 days into her game. And doesn't really understand. Like I have to help her water. I basically have to play the game for her, because she's like, I don't understand what I'm doing here. I was like, okay, well, let me help you. I'll show you what you need to do.
Right.
But when she saw that there could be cats, she was like, you need to get the white cat, Dada. I was like,
aww.
Okay. So we got it, and I asked her what she wanted to name it, and she wanted to name it Helen. So I have a white cat named Helen, which is going to pose all sorts of problems, because in my last game, I played right around the time my son Ben was born. Or no, it was before he was born, and we were going to go with a different name. So my kids' names in my last game are Helen and Barrett, which is what Ben's name was going to be until we met him. We're like, no, he's not a Barrett. So I don't know what I'm going to do this time when I have two kids in the game, and my cat's named Helen, and I can't name my kid Helen because the cat's name is Helen.
What'd you name your turtle?
I didn't get a turtle yet, but that will probably be one of the Ninja Turtles, most likely. Nice. And I'll probably have to get 4. So.
Can't just have one. Gotta get 4.
So I always start with the dog, and I try to get the one that looks most like a beagle, because that's the type of dog that my wife and I have always had. And then Helen is obsessed with cats, and we can't get a one in real life because I'm allergic to them. So she made me get a cat there. And she was also there when I got my horse, and she made me name it after her best friend in school. So I've got a horse named Amelia.
It's a cute name for a horse.
Yeah.
And a kid.
What did you name your farm?
What did I name my farm? Oh, I named my farm Eclipse Farm because the eclipse was happening this year.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of clever. I was like, yeah.
I named mine the same thing I named my Animal Crossing town, which is Quizabuck.
Nice.
Which is a reference to the cartoon show The Critic.
Never seen that.
Oh man, it was a spinoff sort of The Simpsons, I think. Okay. Or maybe they just had a crossover episode. Anyway, it was an animated series that ran on Fox, or rather ABC. A lot of the people who wrote for Simpsons eventually wrote on The Critic and whatnot. And it was John Lovitz just played a film critic that everybody hated, and just his random misadventures. And in one episode, he's playing with his billionaire boss there, because he's on his he's got this disease that no one's ever heard of before. So he thinks he's going to die. So he's just like spending a lot of time with them, and his son and his boss are playing Scrabble, and he throws down a bunch of letters and it spells out Quizabuck. And he goes, "You can't play that. That's not a word." He goes, "Oh yeah." And he just calls Webster's dictionary. He goes, "Hey Webster, how much is it going to cost to make Quizabuck a word? What does it mean?" "I don't know. Have it mean a big problem." "Oh, hey, by the way, how's my other word doing? Dukelicious. No one's using it? What a Duke-tastrophe."
Oh my God.
It's just a great scene. And so I've just stolen the word Quizabuck, and I've just named my town Quizabuck and whatever I
love
play.
It. So what's the next big adventure that you're going to have in Stardew?
Hopefully going to Ginger Island and doing all that stuff. Okay. As of our recording right now, literally the last thing I did in the game was get married. I married Haley this time around. Yep. Previous the previous episode I mentioned I married Leah and Penny, and now I've done Haley. I was gonna think about Krobus, but I ultimately decided against it. So yeah, that'll just be kind of expanding on just the family in the game, and then, like I said, when winter rolls around, I'm on fall 20, I believe, is the last day I finished. Nice. So I'm only 8 days away from being able to go and get the rest of the fun stuff to make the game easier for me, so I can just keep making money and buy all the stupid stuff that doesn't matter.
I think my my next big adventure is going to be hat farming, trying to get all the different types of hats in this game. I think they added like new hats inside of 1.6, so I'm really excited to figure out like what they are, and then add them to your pets, because now you can have your pets can wear hats.
I also saw that there's mannequins now.
Yeah. Yep.
You can dress up. I have one of those in my attic, because that seems like a place you would keep a mannequin.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think I've also kind of played this game. As the first time I've played around with like the sewing machine, and I found out how to make like a long beanie, or like a floppy beanie hat. So that's what my character is running around in right now. So
nice.
There's a whole lot to 1.6 that I need to understand and play around with.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to get a seasonal check-in with you,
for sure.
See how winter is going, and then force you to do the desert festival in the spring.
I checked in on it. I just had so many other things, so I didn't dive deep into all the different facets of it. I walked around all the shops, was like, okay, nothing great, nothing great. So I promise next time I'll pay more attention and I'll do more of the challenges and whatnot.
Yeah, you gotta find Emily so that you can do the outfits.
I did the outfits, and she dressed me all in bright green.
What?
Yeah. I was like, well, that's kind of lame. It was like it wasn't even like a fancy thing. It was just like the pants are bright green. My shirt is bright green. I was like, okay, cool, I guess.
I've gotten 2 interesting outfits from her. The first one was a toga. So she gave me like a white toga shirt, and then she gave me like the what do you call it? Like the olive branch, like I don't know what to call it. The thing that goes around your head.
Yeah, the crown or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a cool toga outfit, and then the other outfit that she gave me was called the mayoral outfit. So I looked exactly like the mayor.
Oh man, that's awesome! I would love to have that hat.
It's so funny.
Man,
yeah, super goofy.
I'm gonna have to do that just so I can get the damn hat.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what else that she has in store for me.
Yeah. I also did. I've gotten a separate coop for my black chicken, the void chickens, and I got a whole bunch of blue chickens.
Nice.
So I have those in a separate spot. I've named all my my void chickens after D&D villains from my friend's homebrew game.
Ooh.
So that's been neat. But we're over an hour now, and it's late, and we're sleepy. Yeah, I know. So let's end with one last question, because we always have one random question at the end of the episode. What would you love to see in 1.7? I know it's a long ways away, and who knows when that'll happen, but what quality of life things or what changes would you like to see in 1.7?
That's a super, super great question. I would love to see villagers, like the eligible bachelors and bachelorettes, get married to each other.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I feel like that's missing from the game, because you see them as couples, like, you know, doing stuff around town. Even at like the spring dance festival, flower festival, like you see them dance with each other. But like, I want to ship certain couples, like make it happen, please.
We've done a lot to make the villagers more fleshed out as characters. I would love to see more reactions to like things happening. Like I married Haley, which is Emily's sister, and Emily's like doesn't even really mention it. I'm like, well, what the hell? So I would love to see just kind of different things there. And I think we touched on the last episode as well, like seeing more people come in later in the game. Like you have Kent who comes in after year 1. And like it would be just cool to see other characters kind of come and go, or, you know, whatever. I think my thing would be, I don't know. I think that's what you said is just the perfect answer. Yeah, and I think we even mentioned that on our cozy episode that we did a while ago. Like that would just be, we like that in Harvest Moon, like being able to set up those characters.
Yeah.
And so being able to just do that, like I would have, because I went as a bachelor in my game for almost 3 years. And so just I would have been totally fine just helping other people be happy, and just like it doesn't matter. I'll get Krobus. Then I'm fine getting Krobus.
I like your idea of like the villagers having reactions to like things that are happening in the game, because I would love to like marry Emily and then watch Clint just like get into like
dissolve and like raise his prices, and he doesn't want to help you anymore.
What, you want this broken? Nah, not today, fam.
Right. Oh yeah, no, we charge $100,000 per geode now.
Yeah, just have like a whole like quest line of him just like being sad, and then you have to like do things for him in order for him to be happy again.
I take it back. I know what my 1.7 wish is. You know, up by the train, there's a pathway that's blocked by a rock. I want them to let us break that rock and find out what's up there.
What if I told you that that's a thing, but it's very difficult to unlock?
Then I need to know how to do it. I didn't know that was a thing already. How long has this been a thing? If
you're interested, you should look into the summit.
The summit. All right. Fair enough.
That is a thing. I didn't realize it was a thing, and then I found out it was a thing, and I was like, oh, okay.
All right. Well, then perhaps my wish has already been granted, and we'll have to figure it out.
I believe you.
Well, we've been threatening to wrap this episode up for almost 10 minutes, so let's actually do it, shall we? Mel, where can you be found on the interwebs if people want to reach out to you?
You can find me on the Discord as Melephant, and if you're playing Final Fantasy 14, hit me up so we can play games together.
What server are you on?
I'm on Midgar Somers.
Yay, that's the one that we all were on.
Yeah, I'm still there. So come play with me.
Perfect. I am Xando, or Xando Calrissian, pretty much anywhere you can find people. And of course in the Discord, where we'll just ask, and we can probably stream some in the game rooms. I've been hesitant to do it just because it's so much more comfy to play Stardew on my Steam Deck in my bed, but
Agreed.
I could probably be coerced into it. And you can see my farm and all the things I've done. Okay, well that's it for this week's episode. We'll check in soon, I'm sure, because there's going to be a lot more to this game, and Indeed. Just cozy games in general. So if you're still listening to this, thank you for listening. If you stopped listening earlier because we talked about something that you were waiting on spoilers for, thanks for coming back and eventually listening. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
We hope you all have a super okay day. Say bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Toodaloo-loos.